Peter Pan lived in a magical place called Neverland Land. It was a land where no one ever grew old and adventures were endless. Peter, a boy who could fly, spent his days playing with fairies, mermaids, and the Lost Boys. His best friend, Tinker Bell, was a tiny fairy with a big personality. One day, Peter decided to visit the ordinary world where children dreamed of flying and stories of faraway lands.
One night, Peter flew to London and peeked into the Darling family's nursery. Inside, he saw Wendy, John, and Michael listening to stories Wendy told about pirates and magic. Enchanted by her tales, Peter introduced himself. "Would you like to see Neverland?" he asked. With the help of Tinker Bell's fairy dust, the children began to fly, soaring over the city and toward the stars.
Neverland was like nothing they had ever seen. Colorful skies, talking animals, and mysterious forests greeted them. The Lost Boys, a group of children who lived with Peter, welcomed Wendy and her brothers. Peter wanted Wendy to be their storyteller, but danger loomed nearby. Captain Hook, a wicked pirate with a hook for a hand, had been searching for Peter, seeking revenge for past battles.
Hook's ship, the Jolly Roger, was anchored by the coast of Neverland. He despised Peter for cutting off his hand in a fight, which a crocodile had swallowed. This crocodile followed Hook everywhere, hoping to eat the rest of him. It even swallowed a clock, ticking loudly wherever it went. Hook's fear of the ticking crocodile kept him on edge, but his hatred for Peter kept him focused.
One day, while Wendy was telling a story to the Lost Boys, Hook and his crew attacked. They captured Wendy, John, and Michael, planning to use them to lure Peter into a trap. The pirates locked them up on the Jolly Roger, laughing and celebrating their success. Hook was certain this time he would finally defeat Peter Pan and take over Neverland.
Peter discovered the kidnapping and gathered his allies, the Lost Boys, Tinker Bell, and the brave mermaids. They devised a plan to rescue Wendy and her brothers. Tinker Bell, despite being small, was incredibly resourceful. She sneaked onto the pirate ship and used her magic to unlock the doors. Meanwhile, Peter distracted Hook by challenging him to a duel on the ship's deck.
The fight between Peter and Hook was intense. Hook swung his sword with fury, while Peter used his agility and ability to fly to outsmart him. As the two clashed, the crocodile appeared, its ticking clock growing louder. Hook's face turned pale as he tried to avoid both Peter's attacks and the crocodile's snapping jaws. The chaos gave Tinker Bell and the Lost Boys a chance to free Wendy and her brothers.
With everyone free, they joined the fight against the pirates. The Lost Boys used slingshots and clever tricks, while Wendy and her brothers fought bravely with whatever they could find. Together, they forced the pirates to retreat. Hook, cornered by the crocodile, jumped into the sea to escape. The Jolly Roger was left in ruins, and Peter declared victory for Neverland.
After the battle, Peter invited Wendy and her brothers to stay in Neverland forever. But Wendy missed her parents and her home. She thanked Peter for the adventure, but explained the importance of family and growing up. Peter, though saddened, understood her decision. He promised to visit her in London whenever she needed a little magic in her life.
Peter and Tinker Bell flew Wendy, John, and Michael back to their nursery. As they landed, the children realized how much they had grown during their time in Neverland. They hugged Peter and Tinker Bell, thanking them for the unforgettable journey. "Never stop believing in magic," Peter said before disappearing into the night sky.
The Darling parents were relieved to find their children safe at home. Though they couldn't see Peter or Tinker Bell, they felt a magical presence in the air. Wendy promised to keep the stories of Neverland alive, sharing them with her parents and her future children. She knew that magic never truly left, as long as someone believed in it.
Back in Neverland, Peter returned to his carefree life, playing with the Lost Boys and exploring the island's mysteries. But he often looked toward the stars, thinking of Wendy and her family. Even though he chose to stay young forever, he cherished the memories of their time together. It reminded him of the joy and love that came from connection.
Neverland remained a place of wonder and adventure. The Lost Boys continued to follow Peter, looking up to him as their leader. Tinker Bell, with her feisty spirit, was always by his side. Together they protected Neverland from any new threats, ensuring it stayed a magical refuge for those who believed in it.
Meanwhile, Captain Hook was not gone for good. He plotted his return, determined to reclaim his honor and defeat Peter once and for all. Though his fear of the crocodile lingered, his thirst for revenge kept him going. Hook's presence added an element of danger to Neverland, reminding everyone that not all stories have peaceful endings.
Despite the challenges, Peter remained confident and fearless. He knew that as long as he had his friends and his belief in magic, nothing could truly harm him. His adventures with Wendy had taught him the value of friendship and courage. Though he never aged, his heart grew wiser with each new experience.
Peter often visited the hidden corners of Neverland, discovering new secrets and treasures. The island seemed alive, constantly changing and growing. It was a reminder that even in a place where time stood still, there was always something new to learn and explore. Peter embraced every moment, living fully in the present.
As years passed, Wendy grew up and had children of her own. She told them stories of Peter Coy in Neverland, keeping the magic alive in their hearts. Sometimes, when the night was especially quiet, she thought she heard the sound of fairy wings or the faint laughter of a boy who never grew up.
One evening, Peter visited Wendy's window, only to find her grown and different. Though he felt a pang of sadness, he smiled, knowing that she had found her own adventures in life. He whispered a goodbye and flew back to Neverland, carrying her stories with him. They became part of Neverland's magic, woven into its very essence.
The story of Peter Pan and Wendy became a legend, told in whispers and dreams. Children all over the world imagined flying to Neverland, where they could escape the troubles of the real world. Peter Pan became a symbol of freedom, adventure, and the eternal magic of childhood.
As Peter soared through the skies, he felt the wind on his face and the stars guiding his way. Though the people he met came and went, his spirit remained unchanging. Neverland, with its endless wonders, was his home. And as long as there were dreamers in the world, Peter Pan would live on, reminding everyone to believe in magic.
One of the lessons we learn from Peter Pan is the importance of believing in ourselves and in the magic around us. Peter's courage and imagination remind us that life is full of possibilities if we dare to dream. Whether it's flying to Neverland or facing our fears, belief can guide us to achieve the extraordinary.
Another valuable lesson is about balance. While staying young at heart is important, growing up and taking responsibility are equally essential. Wendy teaches us that love and family bring meaning to our lives, while Peter shows us the joy of adventure and freedom. Together, they remind us to cherish both our dreams and our connections with others.